I'm from Baltimore. I grew up just outside of the city, went to Georgetown for college, and while I was at Georgetown, I had a couple of internships for tech startups and kind of got addicted to the lifestyle as well as just the interest in technology. I came back and I actually went to a startup weekend event, a hackathon here in the city. My now business partner and I built the first version of Parking Panda that weekend in over a 48-hour period of time, basically. Won the hackathon and just kind of grew from there. We've been building Parking Panda ever since. It's evolved quite a bit. It started out a little more like Airbnb for parking. Now we really consider ourselves kind of the mobile application for parking. So as a driver, if you need to find, reserve, pay for parking, you can go to our app, find a spot, pay, and then have a guaranteed space when you get there. And the way we do that is we actually work primarily with all of the large parking lots, garages, operators out there to help them take reservations, to better optimize their yield, help them make more money, and kind of bring them into the 21st century. Adam is the CTO of the company. Like I said, we started from day one together. He's been an engineer all of his life. He started programming, when he was still in elementary school, basically, like starting programming games on calculators. He used to take kids, TI-84 calculators and program games on them and sell them to them. We got together. We ended up working really well together. It was a good relationship. We were business partners first, became friends later, which I think was probably the best way we could go about doing it because we knew we could work together. And he's incredibly talented technically, but also one of the most sales-oriented and outgoing engineers you'll ever meet in your life. When we started the business, the whole idea of collaborative consumption was really just taking off, right? Airbnb was just starting its kind of explosion into the company that it is today. You were seeing companies like Get Around and Relay Rides and things like this come about. And there was some personal experience combined with this as well. When I was at Georgetown, had a driveway a block from M Street. It's one of the most popular like shopping, dining, nightlife areas in the city, but we were in college, so we had no car. So we had this driveway that would sit empty in a place where it was impossible to park. And then I come up here and go to Ravens games, and there are people standing outside with cardboard signs selling their alleyway parking spaces for 20 bucks, right? Just thought there had to be a better way to make that ecosystem work. So that's how we started out. We thought it was a compelling model. And I still believe that there are compelling pieces to that. The challenge was really in scaling that as a large business, right? Because first and foremost, how do you reach people to sell their parking spaces? Like, no one is going to Google and searching en masse, how do I sell my parking space? So you're left with, flyering their doors, hoping you get media coverage, things like this. And then scaling it from a purely inventory perspective is a real challenge also, particularly in certain downtown parts of the city where there aren't that many spaces. And then when they are listed on your site, the availability and reliability of them is relatively minimal, right? A person's driveway is one space, and that space may only be available once a week, maybe even twice a month, something like that. So you need a huge number of spaces to be able to meet any real demand. Whereas working with the commercial industry, we can get 50 parking garages that all hold 200 spaces and have thousands or tens of thousands of spaces available for people. Parking, the things people are concerned about are price and distance. As long as you can provide the best price at a close distance, that's what people want. It doesn't matter if it's a driveway or a parking garage or whatever the case may be. We sell parking for everything, right? Events, transient, monthly, end to end. We meet any need. But obviously, a place where needing a parking reservation, a prepayment is perhaps most pointed is around events, around concerts, around things like this. It's the time when parking prices are the highest. It's the time when they're most likely to sell out. And therefore, it's a great time for people to become a first-time Parking Panda user, right? It's when they're really searching for a solution like this, so it's a great chance to capture those customers for us. We really believe in building not only really more than a marketing tool for the parking industry, right? We're more than a digital way for parking operators to connect with consumers. We believe in building kind of a middleware around parking as well, almost, where we can create an Uber feeling experience for the parking industry also, where no matter what parking garage you pull into, no matter who owns it, no matter what kind of gate they have there, no matter what the technology is, you get a seamless experience that's exactly the same everywhere you go. So you pull up to a garage and you scan a QR code or you tap a button and the gate opens up and lets you in. Same thing when you leave. As easy as you can possibly make it. Now, of course, we focus on the consumer side as well. We partner with professional sports teams, with Amtrak, with Megabus to help generate that consumer demand, as well as building our own brand. But really looking at that as just a piece of the larger puzzle that is the parking industry, I think is a big part of it. We have international investors, and we definitely see a lot of opportunity in parts of Europe, in parts of South America, and at a grand scale one day, maybe even in parts of Asia as well. You really have to figure out whether a new model, something that's relatively innovative, will work as effectively in another country, in another market, and you have to do that without spending too much money. So if we can continue to grow at the scale we are right now within the United States, then I think that is our first priority.